Of all the chicanery and shenanigans that Democrats pulled during the 2020 election, perhaps the most brazen and significant was big tech's decision to censor the Hunter Biden laptop story. The censorship was outrageous and dangerous in and of itself, a group of billionaire oligarchs deciding what could and could not be presented in the public square before an election. But now the story has gotten even worse, thanks to Mark Zuckerberg's revelation on the Joe Rogan podcast that he and Facebook and big tech only censored the story because the FBI told him to.
Basically, the background here is the FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, hey, just so you know, like, you should be on high alert. We thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election. We have it on notice that basically there's about to be some kind of dump of that's similar to that. So just be vigilant. So our protocol is different from Twitter's. What Twitter did is they said you can't share this at all. We didn't do that. The distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it. So you could still share it. You could still consume it.
So when you say the distribution is decreased,
it got shared.
How does that work?
It basically, the ranking in newsfeed was a little bit less. So fewer people saw it than would have otherwise. So it definitely...
By what percentage?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's meaningful. But we weren't sort of as black and white about it as Twitter. We just kind of thought, hey, look, if the FBI, which I still view as a legitimate institution in this country, it's like very professional law enforcement, if they come to us and tell us that we need to be on guard about something, then I want to take that seriously.
So Facebook censored the story, but actually only a little bit, but actually pretty significantly, but actually Mark Zuckerberg doesn't remember how much, and it did so because the FBI told it to. Little tough to follow the contradictions and the equivocations, but at the very least, Zuckerberg is telling us that the FBI, the allegedly nonpartisan federal law enforcement agency that had been illegally attacking Donald Trump since before he even became president, interfered in the 2020 election to keep damaging information about the Biden family out of the public square. Information so damaging that 17% of Biden voters in swing states, according to one survey, said that they would not have voted for Biden had they known about the laptop before the election, would have swung the election to Trump. The deep state pressured big tech to help elect Democrats and kick a Republican president out of the White House. But remember, if you question our oligarchs, you're a threat to democracy. The Democrats, not just the Democrats, the libs, because we're not just talking about the political party, we're talking about the whole kind of liberal establishment, especially in the bureaucracy, but through all the rest of society too. The libs reward their enemies, reward their allies, and punish their enemies. That's how they do politics. And it is pretty much politics 101. It is pretty much the most basic way of thinking about politics, going all the way back not just to ancient Greece, but going back to the days of the cavemen. You reward your friends and you punish your enemies. That's how they do this. The way they do this is, before the election, the FBI comes knocking on Facebook. They say, hey, listen here, listen, my bosses over there in Washington, D.C., they sure would appreciate it if, look, there's going to be some information about Hunter Biden coming out, you understand? We don't want that to come out. You understand what I'm saying? That would be very unfortunate if that came out. So we're going to sweep that one under the rug, right? Right? There's a nice tech company you got here. Sure would be a shame if something happened to it. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, good. That's what they do. And what does Facebook do? First of all, Facebook is just full of libs, and it's part of the liberal establishment anyway. So they're probably more than happy to oblige. But even if they weren't, they're feeling the force of the government, the permanent government, the administrative bureaucracy, the deep state. And they're saying, okay, I don't want to get on the wrong side of the FBI. Don't forget what Chuck Schumer said. He was in a way making fun of Donald Trump, but in a way he was giving a warning to everybody. In a way I think it was quite sincere when he said, don't go against the intelligence community. They'll kill you 9 ways from Sunday. They could destroy your life so easily. Just don't do it. And that's what happened here. That's what happened. That's the same sort of thing you're seeing on the student debt forgiveness. There's not much of a principle at play here. It's just a political payoff. The Democrats are paying off their friends, and that they're doing that in a very direct way. And then in a less direct way, they're punishing their enemies, the people who don't go to college, who are less likely to vote for Democrats, the people who are financially responsible and paid off their student loans, who are less likely to vote for Democrats. Those guys are going to now have to foot the bill for the people who are getting the free ride. Even among the staffers of the White House, Real Clear Politics' Philip Wegman just reported that 1 in 5 White House staffers currently has student debt. At least 30 senior White House officials have outstanding student loan balances. This is according to financial disclosures, representing 1 in 5 of the staffers who are required to file the documents. And so Biden's giving a handout to his friends, and he's punishing his enemies. And maybe Republicans should learn a little lesson from that. You know, Republicans, they're so eager to prove that they're really neutral and they're really high-minded and they're really above politics. The conservatives are so eager to do that. That's what the Never Trump movement was. The Never Trump movement was, listen, I don't support all this tribalism. I don't support these party politics. I mean, you always hear the squishes in almost every election. You'll have some moderate Republican who comes out and he says, look, I'm a Republican, but I'm going to break with my party. Country before party, which is a meaningless statement. You join a party because you think it'll help your country. You think it's the best thing for your country. So country before party is a distinction without a difference. But they do it because what they're really saying is, look, I'm not just going to help my friends and punish my enemies. No, I'm above it all. Frankly, I'm fairer to my enemies than to my friends. That's how high-minded it is, and that's how you lose. That's how you lose at politics. That's how the libs take over the whole culture for the past 60 years. Maybe conservatives should learn a little bit of a lesson from the libs. We shouldn't do things that are unjust. We shouldn't do things that are immoral, which the libs often do. But I think we can engage in regular, normal politics where you have alliances and you help out your constituents and you don't just constantly cave in to your opponents. I'm glad you like that clip. Now, look, we hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate that. That's really great that we did it. Now we got to hit 1 billion. 1 trillion, 1 quadrillion, who knows? Sky's the limit. Ring the bell, subscribe. We'll see you next time.